Hi, I'm going to walk you through how to select and cut samples to use in Garageband for remix projects. So here's how it works. You start a new project, and it's actually better if you select, after you start a new project, instead of selecting a microphone, to select a synthesizer track like this. I'm going to do it now. There it is. And I'll just delete that one. And because we're going to use that to work out what key our song is in, because we need to know that before we can move forward. So the song I'm going to do for today's example is called Break My Heart by Dua Lipa. And the first thing we need to do is find out what key it's in. And the way we do that is just by listening.
To say the first goodbye. Had to love and lose 100 million times. Had to get it.
Bump, bump, bump. That's the key we're in. This is a hard one to actually know how to do because it comes with experience, but Google can also help you Googling what key is my song in. So what I need to do is using this instrument here. By the way, to get a keyboard up on the screen, I press Command K. K is for keyboard. And there we have ourselves a keyboard. So now I just need to find out
Had to get it.
dum, 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 what that note is. So I can play the notes on my keyboard or with my mouse. That's the note that it is. D. It says D there, sorry, but it's E. The note is E, and I know it's in a minor key just by listening. So I put this to E minor. The next thing I'm going to do is find the tempo of the song. And to do that, I need to find a clear kick drum, a clear bass drum.
Now I'm falling. You say my name.
Right, there was the first one right there. That one. So I'm going to make a trim at the very beginning of that first kick drum, of that first clear kick drum, which is right there. Click on the thing, Command T, and then I'm going to move that cut to a bar line. So let's move it to say to bar 15. And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to find out how long one bar is. You can see very clearly where those kick drums are. 1, 2, 3, 4. So I need the fifth one, this one, to line up with this bar line here. And the way I'm going to do that is by adjusting the tempo. So just let me explain here. The orange ones, the orange samples here, they're different to Apple loops. If you recall, an Apple loop, the blue loops, will change tempo and key depending on what you change here. The orange ones don't. For example, you noticed while it was orange, I changed this to E minor and this didn't move. It still sounds the same. When I turn it into an Apple loop, it's going to lock it in as E minor. And same with the tempo. Watch this.
You say my name like.
If I change the tempo with an Apple loop, you expect it to change tempo, but it's not. Watch what happens.
You say my name like I have.
Still the same tempo. So what we need to do is adjust the tempo. You can see adjusting the tempo changes the length of the audio file. So according to the grid. So I want 1, 2, 3, 4. I want this fifth one here to line up with this bar line here, because that'll be one bar, 4 beats in one bar. And it's almost there. I want that bit there to line up. Let's try 113 instead of 112 and see what happens. Perfect match. So now if I play this along with the metronome in the software, we should hear a perfect match.
You say my name like I have never heard.
And we can check that it's true by dropping it in later in the song. If it still matches, then we know it's perfect.
That was the end of it all. I should have stayed.
Perfect. Most modern songs are recorded to what we call a click or to a metronome so that we know they're going to be locked in. Most old songs are not, so it gets a bit harder. What we're going to do now is this is the bit we know that starting at bar 15 it's in time. So if we drag this all the way back, we also know that this is going to be in time as well. And you can see and hear that our beats in the song match up perfectly with the lines on the grid in GarageBand. So we can turn off the metronome, put this back to 0, which is perfect, and now we're going to start to take our sample. So we've set the tempo at 113 BPM, E minor. Now when we create samples, they're going to move with the tempo and with the key. But we have to create them first. And the way we do them is like this. I'm going to trim at the first beat where I want to make my first sample.
I've always been the one to say the first goodbye.
And that's where I want my first sample to end. So I'm going to trim there. And now you'll notice that my first sample, it's exactly 2 bars long. For samples to work as Apple loops, they need to be an exact number of beats long. So this one is 8 beats long. If it's 1 beat, 2 beats, 3 beats, that's no problem. 6.5 beats is a problem. And here's how you create the Apple loops. So I'm going to drag this into my loop library, and that will create the loop. Here, you give it a name. Let's just call it Dua Lipa sample 1, and it's a loop, which is what we want. And it tells you here again, when it's a loop, it'll automatically move with the song's tempo, but it has to be a whole number of beats. A one shot is the orange one, and then we just press create, and it's going to make it. And you can keep doing that throughout the whole song, but just give it a new name each time. So, you know, sample 1, sample 2, sample 3. Let's say you want this bit here. Oh yeah, that'd be a great sample. So what I'm going to do is just click on that, and I'll get 1 bar. And again, drag that in, and I'll call it Dua Lipa sample 2. It's a loop, which is what we want. And now I've created 2 samples. Now watch this. When I go to a new project, Command N, oops, there we go. When I create a new project, that sample will now be in there as long as I set the key right. So watch this. If I go into here and type in Dua, she doesn't come up. But if I change this to E minor, which is the key we're in, there it is. There's the ones we just made. So now if I drag in sample 1, for instance, it automatically adds the right tempo. It's interesting that it added 112 instead of 113. That's interesting. I don't know why it does that, but there you go. Anyway, so now that I've got the sample in there,
I've always been the one to say the first good.
Oh, it's because of this. There we go.
I've always been the one.
But now if I speed up the tempo, the sample will follow.
I've always been the.
Or slow down the tempo.
I've always.
And of course, same if I change the key.
I've always been the one to.
And you can see that that's what we want. So now it's a blue one. It moves with the tempo. It moves with the key. The orange ones don't. Let me know if you've got any other questions.